Yeah, please start.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikita Thakur, Assistant Professor from the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry. Welcome you all on the sixth day of our national level online faculty development program, hosted by Sardar College of Pharmacy in collaboration with Gujarat Technological University. Our theme was Smart Research for the Digital Age, Mastering Grant Proposals, High Impact Scopus, Publishing Patents, and AI Driven Excellence. Is super relevant and important for all of us navigating today's academic world. Yesterday's session was fantastic. We had the pleasure of hearing from Dr. K.S. Soumya Rani ma'am, who gave us an amazing talk on harnessing AI ethically for research writing and publishing. Her session was insightful, thought-provoking, and definitely left us with a lot of think about. Today we have got experience, exciting lineup ahead. It's all about growing our
Ma'am, you are not audible. Nikita ma'am, you are not audible. Yes, please continue.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes. Please continue.
Okay. So let's keep the energy going, take part in the discussion, and make the host of today's session together. Thank you all for being here. Wishing you a very productive and inspiring day ahead. Now, I would like to invite our FDP coordinator and assistant professor, Mr. Samresh Pal Roy, from the Department of Pharmacology, to introduce our wonderful speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Nikita ma'am. So thank you again for all the audience who has joined together for listening our today's guest, Dr. Kamal Dua, an internationally acclaimed academician, researcher, and through a thought leader in pharmaceutical science as an institute speaker for today's faculty development program. Dr. Kamal Dua is an award-winning pharmaceutics and drug delivery researcher whose work bridges the domains of teaching, research, and industry across three nations of two continents. Currently serving as an associate professor in the Graduate School of Health at the University of Technology, Sydney, Australia, Dr. Dua brings a wealth of experience and expertise to global scientific and academic community. He holds dual doctoral degree in PhD in pharmaceutical science and another PhD in immunology and microbiology. Additionally, he has completed four specialized diploma in clinical research, product development, drug regulation, and documentation and intellectual property rights. So at Sydney, along with teaching in the pharmacy program, Dr. Dua also coordinates a suite of good manufacturing practice courses where he leads academic and researcher activities. With more than 650 publications, include over 390 journals article since 2020, 80 plus book chapter, and 12 books. Dr. Dua research has showcased in more than 100 national and international conferences. His H index stands at an impressive 72, with an I-10 index 546 and citation exceed 26,222. So it's really very impressive for all of us to have Dr. Dua sir. And sir has also successfully secured 1.35 million Australian dollar in research grant and stands among the world top 2% scientists as recognized by Stanford University of two consecutive years. Dr. Dua, academic collaboration and global affiliation further underscore his versatile expertise. He currently holds prestigious adjunct and honorary prestigious, including adjunct assistant professor, faculty of pharmacy, University of Alberta, Canada, core member at Australia Research Centre, adjunct fellow at NICM Health Research Institute at Sydney, adjunct senior lecturer at Taylor's University, Malaysia, and so on. So Dr. Dua is an recipient of numerous prestigious awards, including the Faculty of Health Dean Academic Excellence Award, Faculty Engaging Excellence Award in Pharmacy, Young Scientist Award, several international research fellowship from IADR, SEA, and WSPID. He has also awarded the Sri S. Sri K. Sri Harsh Memorial Gold Medal and Rank Certificate for academic excellence earlier in this career. So we truly privileged to have Dr. Kamal Dua with us today and look forward to gaining from his invaluable insights in your topic, understanding the manuscript structure, enhancing the clarity and flow of your writing. With this, I welcome Dr. Dua sir to start his session.
Thank you. Thank you, Samaresh. That's very nice of you. Okay, just let me know if you can see my screen, if I can share, okay? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Great, excellent. All right. Very good morning to everyone and very good afternoon as per the Australia time. I think I got really mixed up because on my calendar, the presentation was showing at 4:30, but the last weekend we gone actually 1 hour behind the clock due to the daylight saving. So I didn't even realize my talk is at 3:30. I was nicely sitting thinking it's at 4:30. I got 1 hour. But anyway, thanks, Samaresh, for contacting and letting me know. So I think without any further delay, Um, the title of my talk, actually, Samaresh has read it very clearly, but just to simplify in a layman terms, and most of you people are quite professional sitting here and been working in academia for very, very long time. So I really don't see that I have to make it anything in a very layman language. So what we're talking today is all about the various manuscripts we submit to the journals and how we can make it more appealing and get it to the acceptance level. Now, before actually I can jump into my presentations, I would just like to have a disclaimer that whatever I'm going to talk today is all my own personal experiences across the journey in academia and research. It is nothing like what I'm saying is applicable to anyone. It is purely up to you how you actually take that on board and apply that in your current academia and research area. So the title which actually I have given to Samaresh is Understanding the Research Paper Structure and how we can further, improve the clarity and flow in the writing. Now, the photo which is on this particular slide is one of our latest edition of our UTS building. This is called Building 2, and it is just more or less, it's a student amenities and library in that building. We are based in the center of the city in Sydney and just very close to the central station. And I, being born and brought up back in India, but being an Aussie for almost like last 6 years. Um, the school where I'm based at the UTS is called as a Graduate School of Health, and that school has all the postgraduate programs. These programs start from the Master of Pharmacy, Master of Genetic Counseling, Master of Speech Pathology, Master of Psychology, and Master of Orthoptics, Master of Good Manufacturing Practice. So all the postgraduate programs we are based at. Now, before I start, this is just a thought actually to everyone. So if we really look in today's time, what exactly journals are doing? We talk about various publishers, we talk about, Elsevier, we talk about Springer, we talk about Taylor and Francis, we talk about Wiley. But these publishers, all which are being scattered across the globe, they are also more or less it turning into a business now. Because if you look at this quote, the journals mostly make us to write the paper, which is we do write. And in the next slide, I'm going to talk why we write the papers. They publish it. We even review multiple journals. And I believe in everyone's email, every day you get at least 2 to 3 different emails from different journal to review the paper. And most of the journals at the end of the day, they don't have an open access. So you need to pay to them through your university library to get those access to the paper. So if we really look at this particular, the slide, and we really think there is nothing free here. Whether we are writing paper, it's taking our time, our energy, and we submitting it. That is another big process. We review the papers for the journal. They don't pay anything. And we have to ultimately, if we need to refer to any papers in a specific journals, if we don't have access, then we need to pay to get the access to the papers. And this is the bitter reality of today's time. Now, we are in a sixth day of FDPI, if I'm not mistaken, I think, which I heard just now, and probably you have heard from a multiple speakers so far. Everyone might have their own views and opinions in terms of publications, patents, grants, everything, the use of AI, and whatever you call that. I have my own opinions and views, which I'm presenting today. I think Professor Vanna Patravel also presented in one of the session, if I'm correct. And Professor Vanna Patravel and I collaborate very closely. And we have quite a number of publications together, and we also have some grants together as well. So there's a lot of overlay of our thoughts as well, probably what she has presented and what I am presenting as well. But I just want to hear a yes and no in a chat from all of you. What do you think? What is on this slide is right, or you feel you do not agree with that? So if you can just type in a chat saying agree or disagree, let's see what's the poll sit here with the people. I'll just take a fraction of seconds. Okay, I got quite an agree at the moment. I think we'll just go up to 10, how many of the responses comes. Most of the people are saying agree. So I think it's almost more than 10 now. So if I really think of agree, then the answer is with you. The answer is with you. Then why we are stressing so much and why we are doing this much kind of the work in terms of publishing the paper. But it is important in today's contemporary. If I'm using the term contemporary, that means it's highly competitive and it's highly challenging academic environment. Nowadays, on anyone's CV, you go for a job interview. In anyone's CV, no one asks you in today's time, hey Cam, how many lectures do you delivered in your pharmacy program? How beautiful you present your slides? How many subjects you are coordinating? No one asks. That would be the very last part of the interview or of your selection criteria where they see what is your teaching. But what they actual look on your CV in today's competitive and the contemporary, which I'm using the term, is actually your research outcomes. They want to see how authentic and how competitive and how strategic researcher you are, what you are publishing, what you fetching the money in terms of the grant, what's the student supervision. All these things count nowadays. No one actually looks on how many beautiful slides you prepared on a PowerPoint or Canva or whatever the platform you use nowadays, and how many intellectuals you have produced in your course. No one bothers about that. And that's the bitter reality across the globe, across the globe. In India, particularly, if I say, because I have a significant collaborators, I did all even my first PhD doctoral degree from India, so I can easily understand the academic hierarchy there. There's a new trend, which is the ranking, which is, of course, it's in overseas as well. But in India, ultimately, there are certain rankings, which is the government framed ranking itself by the government of India. And apart from that, you also compete with QS and other rankings. And where those rankings come from, if I ask a question to all of you, I believe 99% people are sitting without camera, which is fine. I looks like I'm just talking to the screen, which is also okay. But if I say, like, what do you think, where this rankings of your universities or of your institute actually comes from? If someone want to answer this in a chat in 1 or 2 words, where that ranking actually comes from? When we say ranking, I know there is in Government of India, they have some, I can't recall the names. You guys got some extra rankings other than the QS and Times Higher and what other rankings internationally people follow. But what do you think where this actually ranking comes from? From NIRF. That's right. NIRF is another ranking, correct? Research paper, publication, patents. Okay. Anyone else? NAC. Yeah, NAC is another level of the accreditation in India. That's right. NBA. That's right. Anyway, there are so many ranking systems in India, and ultimately, most of the people have said it comes through the patents, publications, and all these things. So it means my talk today is very relevant. That is not actually just helping you to grow on your CV or on your research trajectory, but it also grows to your institute as well, because at the end of the day, the leverage comes where they get the ranking. Am I correct? Right. Now, my question to you is, why, as an academicians, I believe 99% people sitting here are academicians. Why, as an academicians, we need to publish? Why? Why we have to publish? Why in probably your head of the school might have said you have to publish 2 papers, 3 papers. One of the thing is because we talk about our KPIs, key performance index, that my boss has said to me in a year I have to definitely publish 4 papers, out of which 2 papers should be definitely in a Q1 journal. But I'm really getting some good answers. The first answer I got is actually definitely KPI, the continue professional development. Absolutely great. Very good. Continue professional development to update our knowledge. Absolutely great. We get the recognition. Absolutely right. And we should be updated with the latest research. That is another part. When you write, you read more literature, which is so right. Anything else you guys think of, like, which is important in terms of, like, which is needed apart from that? Why we publish, actually, I'm going to tell my own stories here. I really like talking more rather than this is all I'll show you research outcome, which is so true. That's right. I do agree on that. And to make the scientific community aware, that's right. But what is the most important thing you think you get out of a publications? I'll tell you some my own little story, and then that might help you. New idea, that is absolutely great. You get the new, like in terms of writing new ideas on a grant and stuff, and then you ultimately earn new recognition on the collaboration and even your academic identity. All this is all makes sense to me and very good. I think now let me show you first what are the points I have, and then let me tell you some of my own story. The most important thing which most of the people have said is a knowledge dissemination. So you publish, whether it's a review or a research article, you have your new idea which you are presenting to the scientific community will get that. And I can tell you, 80% of the papers are non-reproducible when it comes to the industry and they try to reproduce those results. It is like that. The current situation is like that. But the knowledge dissemination is only possible through the reputed journals. And the reputed journals is comes across the, Elsevier, Springer, Willey, and Taylor and Francis. I can count on my finger which rest all I don't even consider. And I can tell you one of the recent my own case where we talk about the journals like MDPI. I'm going to talk in a minute. But let's talk about the knowledge dissemination. So you have a new knowledge or you have a collective knowledge of the area which you publish either as a review. This is one of the major thing which most of people have said. The other important thing is peer recognition, which you have even said that you get recognition in terms of your scientific community. You get well regarded. You've been, like just now, they've been reading my bio in the same way. You feel really good about it, which is so true. But is all this is really what you need in a current time? We talk about career advancement. Definitely, if I get my, that many papers, that many patents, that much of the grant, I can promote to my next level. I'm just standing very close professor, so I should be professor very soon then. So in Australia, particularly, the promotions are very, very difficult. When it comes, like in India, when we start with an assistant professor, here we start with an assistant lecturer. From assistant lecturer, you grow to the lecturer. From lecturer, you go to the senior lecturer, and then you go to the associate professor, and then as a full professor. And even nowadays, we in our university and certain other university, after professor, they have distinguished professor. So the line of the competition is not stopping. And it depends on all these things where we need to publish. You have to publish because on your grants, particularly, you have a section where sometimes the grant body says, show your top 10 publications. If you don't have a publication, you are not competitive in the grant, first of all. You are out of the game. But if you have a really high publications in a high reputed important journals, then you are in the game. It means you are in the game means your application can go to the next level where they can consider whether what's your proposal looks like now. So to fetch the funding, it is really important to have some publications in a reputed area. And ultimately, at the end of the day, all your QS ranking, everything nowadays sits on what you produce. How many of your Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 journals and all other things actually you produce? Can I just ask another question here to everyone? When it comes to the institutional reputation and you look at your profile, which we call it as a, which we call like, you call like an H index, I-20 index, number of citations. Can I just ask which normal portal you use to find out where you stand in today's competitive world as compared to the other researchers in the same area? So where you see your research metrics. If can you someone can Google Scholar, okay, Google Scholar. I'll just go to the 10 responses. Scopus, okay, that's better. Okay, Scopus index, okay, great. Anyone else? Scopus, okay. ResearchGate, no, that's not right. Okay. ORCID, no, no. I'm just saying where you see your research metrics, where you see your number of citations, you see your H index, your I-20 index, Web of Science. Great, very good. Anyone else? Web of Science, PubMed, no, PubMed, no, PubMed never shows you. Google Scholar. Okay, I got like a mixed answers. I can tell you, definitely the first layer where you start looking at your number of citation and H index is Google Scholar. But Google Scholar never gives you the right figure. They never give you your authentic image. The second level after the Google Scholar where you go is the Scopus. If you compare your number of citations on the Google Scholar to the Scopus, Scopus always shows less number of citations. It will always show your H index much lesser than the Google Scholar. I can bet you. And that is also still not very right. The real Web of Science is a very great tool. Web of Science give you further low number of citation and H index when you compare to the various other system. But across the globe, nowadays, what people use mostly in Europe or Western countries is what I have written in the chat called Scivel. Scivel is a tool which is being developed by the Elsevier, which has coming out from the Scopus, but it gives you everything. And that is a tool which makes you naked in front of the research community. That will show you your clear H index, clear number of citations, clear number of international national collaborations, clear number of your Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 publications, clear number of the patents, clear number of the patents which has used your papers. So you can imagine it gives you everything. It gives you everything. And that actually is being taken on board by these ranking systems. So that's why it's really important to publish in a right journal at a right time. And I'm going to talk in a minute around that. And the last but not the least, which I was waiting to hear from everyone, which no one answers, is called impact. Impact is important because if you are publishing and if you are not giving any impact is not your citations and not your just the H index. Impact is something where your knowledge gain, which you had in this first point, has been used in something creating novel and new, and it has helped the community. I can give you an example here. If some of your patent has really gone and translated into a commercialization to the market, is what is the societal impact? If any of your knowledge has actually gone into the really government policy making, is the impact. But how many of you really think that the kind of the research we do, it goes to that level? Hardly 1% people across the globe do that kind of a research. I give you my example one here. I published some of the papers, and my laboratory at the moment, I have 6 PhD students, I have masters by research students, I have a couple RAs, and the money which I get for my lab to run, it's all come through industries mostly than a government. And we call it as a category 3 funding. Those industries which are based across Australia, they look at my research and they ask me, Cam, can you do this for us? And I translate that into a PhD project. So this is what is an impact. I'm not saying it's a small impact, but that impact. One of my a company's project, which is the agarwood nano emulsion. I just developed a nano emulsion of agarwood, and that has been we have published across COPD and asthma and inflammation. But the lung cancer axis, the company has actually recently just released 2 months ago the PCT, and they are taking it to the commercialization. I just attended a meeting on Monday with the Chinese delegates where the Proton Pharma, I'm disclosing the name, is happy to spend enough money to get that product to the clinical trial. We are just waiting for the outcome. So these kind of things you should be generating out of the publications. It is not all about just having an H index or I-20 index or whatever you call it as a number of citations. These are the various journals, which been publishing, and I just got the data up to 2020. And you can clearly see here that Elsevier is the one of the journal which is on the top, followed by Springer and MDPI. And you won't believe, recently in one of my government competitive Australian competitive government grant, we call it as a National Health Medical Research Council, NHMRC. I submitted, they have in one of that grant, we have to list top 10 papers, and we have to give why we considering this paper as a top 10 for us on that grant. I have one paper in journal, it's an MDPI journal, I can't recall Cell or something. It has almost an impact factor of 8. And I published that paper with my collaborator from Stanford. And I intentionally showed that paper on the grant because it was a collaboration with Stanford. So I really thought it's a top university. So it gives me a good dialogue to present. And this is what I wrote the justification. I got a comment back from a reviewer that in your grant you have presented 2 papers. There were 2. One is nutrients and one was another, and they both are from a pediatric journal. The MDPI, they're considering it as a predatory journal. And I have that comment with me. And I don't know. I don't want to go back and I don't want to debate on this, whether it is a predatory journal or not. I don't know. But I really respect the top 4 journals, which are Elsevier, Springer, Ville, and Taylor and Francis. They are the one which are the top leading. Rest all are the money making business, which sounds to me. Still, those 4 journals have a lot of the areas where we can publish without paying. We call it the one is a subscription, you pay non-subscription, or it is still, a non-paid journals. It's still there are a lot of journal under that category. In my research track record, if you go, hardly 1% or 2% of the journal's papers would be from in a paid journal. I always try to publish in a non-paid journal, which is a subscription-based journal, because I don't want to spend money just on publication. And at the end of the day, because in Australia and New Zealand, they have a treaty now where we have a lot of journals in the Springer, Ville, Taylor and Francis, and Elsevier, which are free for us to publish. This we don't have to pay the APC. And when I look at the APC, some of my papers get accepted, it comes up to $4,000 US dollars. And I get free because it is coming under the Treaty of Australia, New Zealand, what that treaty is for some journals. So it depends on the institutional and depend on a country to country as well. But this is a real gist why we have to publish. This is one of the statistics which clearly shows that the annual articles, they published across the globe per million people. And I specifically, when I gone a pointer on the India map, and you can clearly see it is 107 articles per million people in India, what it published in this area. And I'm sorry, in this particular span of time in 2020. And if I'll show you more of the statistics, this is across the different 3 regions of the countries, which publishes from a high income. Definitely the middle income countries also doing so well in terms of publication as compared to the lower income countries as well. And India is no very far than other countries. And look at China. It's one of the highest publishing articles across the globe. And that is so true. Any journal you pick, with my personal experience, I always see the editor-in-chief or the co-editor-in-chief are from China. Most of the journals. I've been editor-in-chief on few journals as well of the Village, Springer, Elsevier, but I'm just telling you, this is a really trend. And this trend I have not created. This is from the source, which is at the bottom of the slide in terms of that link. And in terms of the area of the publication, because our area comes in health sciences and biological and biomedical sciences, you can clearly see they are the top two areas. Among rest all are very small areas, whether engineering, social science, physics, chemistry, genomics, mathematics, atmospheric science, or whatever, natural resources, agriculture, material science, astronomy. But look, our area comes under the health and biological, and the maximum number of papers and the publications are in that area. They are the top 5 journals. If someone managed to get that, I don't have any paper in that so far. If we get that, any one paper in that, our life is set because every university regards that you have published in any one of the top 5 journals. But as per the Google, if you really see the top 15 journals, they are the top 15 journals. And I do have one of the paper in one of those journals as well. Even my student just published Science of Total Environment last year, just last year, because I work in respiratory diseases, and one of my student, paper was on COPD with the atmospheric environment. So Science of Total Environment is a great journal. If you're really looking forward, it's around 15, 16 or 14. I can't recall the impact factor, but you can definitely try. This is just a paper which came in 2011, I think. There is no year here, but it's on PubMed as well. But I have got a lot of information when I read that paper, actually, how we can get it, publish our paper in a peer-reviewed journals, and what are the things we need to consider before we actually publish in a reputed journal. Now, a lot of people I have seen and I have heard in multiple universities when I go, particularly in India, no offense, I have to just get my thesis across the line because they don't allow to get the thesis awarded if I don't have a two publication in a Scopus journal. And doesn't matter that Scopus journal had an impact factor, any prestige or any value or not. I just need 2 papers that should be in a Scopus journal because this is what is the requirement of my university to get the thesis awarded. But is this a reality and is this something right? What do you think? Yes and no. What do you think is yes and no? And most of the universities says that, which not in overseas. No one says that. If my student, I usually make my students to publish the whole thesis before they submit because they don't have to write. And all my students, those who have graduated with PhD, they have their thesis published because I am not going to get a Nobel Prize. I am 100% sure. Or maybe someday, I don't know, but I try to make the data, what we have collated to the scientific community so that they can use it. But what do you think that practice of having those 2 Scopus papers and get your thesis submit is right? Yes or no? How many of you think yes, that's right? And how many of you think it's no? I think it's anyway, I think I'll be mindful of the time and let me jump into the other major part of our presentation now. Now, my presentation topic was around how we can publish and how we can improve the flow of the academic publishing. So I have 10 golden rules on that, and I'm sure everyone will agree on that. And it is the matter of time how you embed that in your real life. It is very difficult, I can tell you. It is very, very difficult because even my wife says sometime to me, you could have married a computer rather than marrying me, which is so right because you spend half of your life on that. Whether you're writing grant, whether you're correcting, whether emails and whatnot. And you definitely need some time to go to your Facebook as well. So there is one part what we call as a professional or an academic part of our life, and one we call as a social part of our life. Both are important to be a human being, right? And particularly now in India at the moment, it is really, I believe it's a wedding season coming on. So even my family, when I was talking a while ago, they're going to attend one of my cousin's wedding. So while in here we don't have any like that. They even if you had a wedding, they only invite 10 people, which is really good one way. We save a lot of time and we can work. But we need to have a balance on both the sides. But these 10 golden rules, if you start applying in your daily practice, I believe you would be able to create a lot in your life, in your scientific world. In People do ask me, Cam, how come in an year you generate that many publications? I get this question very often. I can tell you there are multiple components involved in that. The first important component is your time and how much actually you spend time on reading papers, correcting paper. I have a big team of researchers at the moment with PhD students, research assistants, senior researcher. I don't let any student, and I'm not a strict supervisor, you can ask, and I'm not bragging on that I make my students really hammer. No, that is their life. If they really want to grow in their research trajectory, they do that. It's better at the end, instead of writing a thesis, it's better you publish two reviews and you publish your research chapters as you progress with your thesis. This is what I normally do with my students. So definitely being a big team, I generate a lot through my team first. Second thing, which comes out from my national and international collaborations. I have a lot of students which I'm co-supervising both nationally and internationally. Whether it is Malaysia, whether it is South America, whether it is India, whether it is States, I have multiple co-supervisions. The publications comes out of there as well. And plus the industry projects what I'm running as well, their expectations is some of their paper they just want to get it across the line because they want to promote that on their website, showcasing their product outcomes in terms of research. So there are multiple avenues where you can argue that how come you have that many papers across the line. Now, what do you think is an ideal manuscript? I think someone has used Scribble on the screen. I don't know who has used the Scribble. So please ignore. This is not on my slide. It's someone has used. Thank you. So can I just ask what you think as an academician? I'm sure there are so many reputed academicians sitting here, and maybe some of you are very senior to me, and some of you might be the same age as me, and some of you are just the early career researchers. Can I just ask, what are your thoughts in terms of an ideal manuscript? If you have to say, if you are reading a paper, what do you think you need in that paper? Why you say that this is a perfect manuscript if you look at that manuscript and you say, this is great. What is the best thing you look in that? Anyone? I can tell you what I really like because I read a lot of manuscripts, whether it is from my own group, whether it is from my collaborators. Novelty, absolutely, absolutely. It need to be novel. This is the answer. It need to be novel, which is called niche in my terms and what the journal says. I can tell you, I am actually, let me just share that actually with you in confidence, which is I should not be doing, but give me a minute. Let me open that email. Okay, I'm going to take you to one of my very sensitive email. This is one of the email which has just came yesterday. Okay, it's yesterday. This is an email where I'm the editor-in-chief of one of the journal, and which is the biochemical genetics. And look, they are really talking about people publishes a lot and they're getting very strict day by day. Even in some of this, I really found that there was couple of keywords. If there is any paper which comes with two keywords, I read that email and you straight away reject that because they are considering it as a paper mill. So I think I can't find, but what I want to show you is so you need to be very careful in terms of designing your work and paper as well. Let me stop sharing now. So, and let me go back to my, sorry, let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so definitely the niche paper, the idea need to be niche, which is so true, and it need to be novel. So that is one of the main thing which everyone thinks in an ideal manuscript. But there are so many things, particularly which I do, in my lab. There, I usually take the concepts from the previously published paper, but there is nothing new in that because I'm using and adopting their methodology into my research. So that's not novel, but it still get published. So apart from novelty, what is the other important things you think it is important? Novelty always comes from your research gaps. Don't tell me it's a problem statement. But what is the main thing you look into, like the structure and data presentation? That's right. I'm going to show you all these points in a minute. The most important thing, if you have seen in various journal, there is nowadays, when you find a journal, there is one thing, every journal had a tool where you put your abstract in that. And they can give you, once you put your abstract in that, they give you, these are the best journals you can try because it is aligning with the aim and scope of your journal. So this is the key. This is the key. Don't just think, I have written a paper, this is excellent. Oh my God, this is novel, this is niche. This is niche for us. We feel proud of it within our lab and within our students and community and in the institute and wherever. But when it comes to the real global scientific community, we need to mindful of the choice of the journal what we have and also how exactly we identify that. From there, you can dig out your manuscript is right or wrong. The simple question to all of you. The paper published in a Q1 journal would be better regarded than a Q4? Yes or no? A paper published in a Q1 journal would be better regarded than a Q4 journal? Yes and no? Most of you have said yes, 4 or 5 answers, and the real answer is yes. So, an ideal manuscript is the one which is coming out of a high impact journal. But journals nowadays are getting extremely strict, and there is the rejection rate has gone up, highly up. Retractions are one of the thing. Even you won't believe, I have published one of the paper in Frontiers, and they retracted the whole issue. My paper was in that issue as well, and they retracted the issue because they're saying there was a flaws in the review process, and they published that review. But it is quite general. I can defend that, and anyone can defend that anywhere. So you need to be really mindful of those things before you actually write your manuscript. So the first important thing which you really need to understand is you need to understand yourself. What is your research topic, which you just have mentioned to me just now, and also what is the kind of the structure of your research paper. I think I'm not spending time on this, and I have done a lot of workshops in India in different institutes where the people, those who have worked with me in that workshop of 2 days, they actually managed to submit and publish those papers. And I was so proud that in discussion, some of the journals that when we discussed, people managed to get those submitted to those journals and they get that across. And I really feel proud of it because at least the knowledge has been disseminated across the line. And even whatever the number of the audience is today sitting, out of that, even my talk has helped even 2 people. The purpose of the talk is done. It's not just I'm here because I have been invited and I need to just tick the box because I'm a speaker. No, the real impact is when someone really used this information to get it across the line. So your structure of the paper is very common. I'm not going to talk here. This I run as a very separate workshop on every section, how it can be impactful, because we know every manuscript has a abstract followed by introduction. And if it's a literature review, it need to be also scattered across different parts. And if it's a research, it need to be methodology, result, discussion, conclusion, future prospects, and finally goes into the reference. But the most important thing is the selection of the journal here. That particular way you have written your paper, it aligns with the aim and scope of the journal or not. So writing is the same. It's whether you're writing it for Elsevier, Springer, Willett, Taylor and Francis, everything is same. I have papers which have published in one click. I have papers which have rejected 10 times and published in 11 times. So never get discouraged. I always tell my students, if your manuscripts are kept on rejecting, it's all right. It's okay. That's part and parcel of the publishing process. So you don't have to worry. You should learn from every time you get the comments back from the reviewer, and you can improve your manuscript every time. And this is what I do. The most important thing is the abstract. As I mentioned, the most of the journals and editors, I being an editor also, the first thing which I look before I send the manuscript for the review is your abstract and the title. I look at two things, title and abstract. And nowadays, people started using ChatGPT to make those fancy titles and ABCD. All rubbish. Human brain is still very good. I can tell you. Human brain is still very good. It can help us, AI tools can help us further refining. But the foundation a human brain can create, no one else can create. I can tell you. I do use ChatGPT as well. I'm not saying I'm not, but I don't use for scientific publications, to be honest, because nowadays journals, they also got another software ready with them, which even our UTS, I can tell you an example. The students, when they submit their assessments for marking as a part of their course, those assessments also go through a tool which can pick whether this has been created by AI or not. The journals are next level. They have their own softwares. They can clearly pick this is an AI generated context. And if you are submitting a paper which is an AI generated context, and that is not right, that is ethically not right. There are certain boundaries to the what extent you can use AI in your research trajectory, and there are certain areas where you can't use those trajectories. So you need to be really mindful of that. And I believe this is the last day, or I don't know how many days the FDP is. I can hear the sixth day. So you probably might have heard from a lot of people. And as being one of the speaker, I don't know what other speakers have said about it. To me, we can use definitely AI to enhance and to get ideas and innovativeness, but not exactly we should be copy pasting the things from there to in our manuscript or grants or anywhere else. So always whenever you write your manuscript, you write with a clear and concise abstract. And most of the time people write abstract at the end, which is absolutely right. You should always write your abstract at the end because the most important part in your manuscript is the discussion. Because discussion is a part where you actually correlate your results with the existing literature, and so that you make sure that your information is something niche, novel, or in agreement or disagreement with the previously published studies. This is how we write discussion. And how you write discussion, as I mentioned, I run a whole workshop on that, but I'm not coming here now. But it is completely depends because there are certain phrases which we use in discussions to make our discussion powerful. So the most important thing is you must have a clear and concise abstract. Your introduction should be compelling. It should not be as raw and basic. Try to use in your introduction always the last 5 years published paper references. If you really want to get your paper accepted, so many editors, they look at your references and they see from which year to which year kind of the papers you have referred in your paper. I can understand there are certain informations which might be coming from 1978, because if I say rofecoxib is insoluble in water and I give a reference of some old source, which is still okay. But if I'm using, say example, it is pharmacologically, it is currently used for ABCD, I need to have an updated information. I need to have a latest reference of somewhere from the last 5 to 10 years. Editors and journals nowadays, they do the primary screening before even it's been sent to the editor. And what they really look at your papers is, the most important thing is the plagiarism. Before any journal, they send the paper, the first baseline. As you submit your paper, it goes to the journal. The journal, what it does is, it actually straight away do the plagiarism. And the plagiarism, it never do Turnitin. It always used, most of the journals use Authenticate as a software. If your plagiarism is high, it's straight rejected by the journal, by the publisher itself, by the first line before it comes to the editor. If you pass that, and you probably, if you have reviewed the manuscripts of the journal, you might have seen they will give you all the references which you have on your papers, the journals, whether they are the PubMed logged or not PubMed logged, they are Scopus logged or not Scopus logged. That actually gives you a validity to your paper, that your paper is an authentic paper. The references used in this paper are the authentic publications. They are registered in PubMed. They are registered in Scopus. These are the things they really look before actually it goes to the editor. So the scrutiny process is becoming difficult every time. And it's not about just, do the paper quickly and just submit it. And people nowadays, they talk about citations, and I can tell you very openly, yes, you can enhance your citation contents even when you write books and book chapters. Because those book and book chapters also goes into your count when people use those books or your chapter into their papers. And it gives you metrics. So there is no harm because this is also an academic writing. However, the people always give high impact to the publications on top of the book chapters and books, which is true, which is so true. But in terms of the metrics, when they really look, whether it's whatever the index you say, H index, I index, how many of you know about a term which I have just written in the chat? How many of you have heard about this? How many of you have heard about FWCI? Don't Google it. Be honest to yourself and tell me yes and no. How many of you have heard of this FWCI? No, no. Almost 6 responses or 7, 8 responses, which I got in a first instance, is no. FWCI is the real impact of your research, not the H index and not the I-20 index. And this is called as a field weighted citation index. It is called FWCI. It is a field weighted citation index. And it's always refer as 1.9, 1.8, 2 point something. It means if my H index, oh, sorry, if my FWCI is 1.9, it means my papers have been cited 1.9 times more than the word normal citations. This is what you get from Seinwell. If you get a chance, look at your Seinwell actually platform. That can give you the real difference. So it is a matrix which gives you a kind of a citations, but how much efficiently you had your citations, and they come from your papers, which I'm talking. So after your paper have gone to the editor, the most important thing they first of all now they look is the author list. I can tell you the papers which are always with the industries internationalization are much easier to go to the next stage until and unless the paper is very niche and it's from a one academic community or a one academic institutes. That clearly shows the power of collaboration, which I'm not talking here. So make your introduction, try to have the info in the last set of the 10 years literature. When it comes to your body of the paper, make sure your paragraphs are connected. If your paragraphs are not, so when you tell your kids a story, how you tell your story? There was a king, there was a queen, right? And they used to live in a palace. They used to live in a palace and they had the problems, they had no problems, and then the problems was encountered this way and they live happily. This is a story. Exactly the same way, you need to make a story in your paper. All your single paragraphs should be connected to each other. It should not happen. You finish your introduction and suddenly your method started. The last paragraph of your introduction should always be a problem statement. And you can clearly say, considering that our aim of this work is, and I'm sure you guys know better than me. So, but they are connected. If you're talking about your drug and after that in the next paragraph, you're talking about a pharmacology, you need to connect those paragraphs. You can't just start. Even when it comes to particularly your solid part of your manuscript, which is the discussion, it is really important how you design that discussion. Always in discussion, I can tell you with the double stamp, try to make a schematic, which is a collative schematic of your research, which should be a collative schematic showing the outcomes of your research. And those schematics sometimes nowadays, which journals have started in the last 1 decade called graphical abstracts, can also go there. That schematic really helps one reviewer to understand the whole paper rather than reading each and everything. This is really important, which we call as an integration. Integration is really important. So you just make sure how your paragraphs are being created and what's the purpose, how it's been related to my manuscript. I understand when it's been written by students, it's very different. And also in our call there pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamics, we call in Australia as drug disposition, we have a research project component. And in that research project component, student actually write manuscript. And they learn more from the published paper than what we teach in the class about the ADME, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. And you get publication out of it. Your institute gets a reputation. In our drug disposition, we have almost 35% of our project work. And that project work is a group project work where the students work on a manuscript of a topic which is related to the contents, what we are teaching in class, which are related to the lectures and the workshop, and they're applying in that project. At the end of the day, they will have a manuscript. You will get a publication, students will get a publication, institute will get a publication, and that's called as an innovative curriculum. That's a different topic as well. What are the other important things? Always use headings and subheadings, particularly when it comes to the review. Yes, it is important to have a schematic, but in research as well, we need to really important how exactly we tick the boxes in terms of the headings and subheadings. It is important that when, as I mentioned, when you draft particularly a review, it is really important you think everything in a way so that it flows in terms of the chronologically order, whether it's your ideas or the lit review, what you are collecting in every section. People look at that. Journal of Control Release, it takes by invitation now. I got few publications in there, and it's not as easy as it can be. Drug Discovery Today, DDT, it takes by invitation and they ask you first to submit an abstract. And some of the journal, they don't take more than 5 authors. Because if you try to submit in DDT, they will first thing what they look is the repo of the authors, their H index and stuff. It should not be more than 5. And then they look at your topic, the title, and the abstract. And if they say yes to you, 70% your paper will get into that journal. 30% until and unless if it's written really very dodgy and very weird, that's the problem that it never gets into that. Your methodology should be very clear. And methodology, if I talk, it is both in review. The methodology in review, if someone can tell me. What is the methodology in a review? We need to definitely, nowadays, the reviewer comments have started coming back. Can you mention this? What is that methodology which is needed in reviews? What do you think? What is important? What it is needed there? Anyone? Anyone? What do you think? Everyone understand in research paper what the methodology is. It's what we have used. This, if I've done the nanoparticles, it should be particle size, zeta potential, PDI, in vitro release, TEM, SEM, all these things, FTIR, DSC, X-ray, and then the biological studies, pharmacokinetics, and ABCD. But what it is in reviews, survey-based research, how to collect data. That's right. That's absolutely right. The how, this is absolutely right. What some people have said here, Dr. Pooja Kumari said how to collect data, and the sites read Chitra has said, this is correct. This is what is the methodology of your review. And you should have this where you say the purpose and the aim of this review is to collate whatever the information. You need to show the information gathered in this review has been sourced from Google, PubMed, whatever you have used, and with the keywords ABD. And this used to be only in pharmacy practice, where they use Prisma and I can't recall because I'm not a pharmacy practice person, but they usually in pharmacy practice reviews, they always have that. But nowadays, even with the pharmaceutical sciences area, what we do, we have to clearly show what are the different domains we have used, particularly to get our review referenced and sourced. When it comes to the research paper, your results should be always clear. As I mentioned in discussion, also there should be a summary figure. And I review a lot of theses. And in 99% of the thesis, I always give a comment back, draw a collective summary figure, because that helps the people to get the whole glimpse of your thesis and the results and findings in one go. In the same way, when you really want people, why the journals have started asking about the graphical abstract? Why? Those graphical abstracts are just to give you the first glimpse and can tell you whether you are really want to read this paper or not, and it is related to your area or not. So you must have good number of figures, images, all these things in your manuscript. It is really a solid thing. Use it properly. Now, my students nowadays had started a new trend. I just wrote a comment back to one of my students. There is a bar graph in your manuscript. Did you draw it yourself or you took it from somewhere? If you have took it somewhere, you don't have a source in the figure legend. Why? He said, no, Cam, I draw that figure by statistics taking from different countries and put it in a bar graph, which is novel, which is novel, which is very novel. He was finding the liposomal technology which is used across different countries, and he'd make the whole bar graph of that himself. So that was quite, really the clever way of articulating the things. So don't repeat the things. Repeating the things always lose the tone of your contents. Use as many illustrations as you can. And as I mentioned with the discussions, it is really important you correlate with the previous findings and the recent findings. When you correlate your findings with the previously published data set, whether it's a publication or whether it is a patent or anything, you just try to have it in the last 10 years as we done it in the introduction. You must have a cohesive argument on why your results are up and down or why your results are in agreement with the previous studies. This gives you a solid stamp of your work, which we call it as an authenticity. Do correlate at the end. None of the study in the world is perfect. Every study, even if it's a Nobel Prize winning study, is also have a lacuna in that. And that lacuna always leads to future directions. No one is perfect in the world. No one. Everyone is learning from each other. And so as our papers and manuscripts. So always good to have a future direction statement in your abstract and at the end of your discussion and conclusion. Always remember. Always show applicability of your research. My research will help the healthcare domain in this sector and this industries. In my area is mostly the respiratory. I always say it will help the respiratory clinics in asthma management or in COPD management or in lung cancer management, whatever it is. You should be definitely showcasing in a very succinct, articulative way. And the last but not the least, give your paper not to your team, to outside to any paper to read that, not to your team, because they have seen your presentation. So I have a PhD student who been with me for 3 years. They're presenting the data in the teams meeting. They're presenting the data in conferences. Everyone know our data. If I give my manuscript to someone I trust to read and get a first honest feedback, and I apply that on the manuscript, it is not less than a review, which we get from an outside. So it is really important. You give your manuscript definitely to someone you trust and get an honest feedback before you get it into the journal. And that will really help you to edit the paper to make it to the best level. And never rush, never rush, never rush. I used to rush. What I have learned in my life, everything happen in time when it has to happen. And being born and brought up in India, being holistic, it is what it said is everything happens at a right time for you. And it will. It will. So don't rush. When your manuscript has to go in a Q1 journal, it will. Just be patient. There is a pressure from the boss you need to publish. That is fine. You can work day and night to enhance it, but use these steps to get that across the line in a right way at a right time. And this is just a succinct summary of what I have said. If you have to, this is what I have taken from Google. This is not from me. The most important thing, you pick any journal, you always, it is from the editor-in-chief, Sarah Eileen from the International Journal of Educational Integrity. Read the aim and scope of the journal. Focus on a quality, not just making something which is quantity of a data and nothing is there. I don't agree on so much on the guidelines, to be honest, because I just submitted because every paper um, is look very similar structure. If the journal are so strict with the guidelines, they usually say, can you modify? Which is one thing we do that at that time. If they get it into review, I don't mind. I don't stress my students on that. Do your homework, read some similar published paper of that journal, and make sure if I'm publishing in berberine, that journal has nanoparticles paper or berberine or something similar thing published in that. That will help you triggering, finding, targeting right journals. And your manuscript should be adding a value to the publisher and to the journal. Then only they will consider, and to the scientific community at the end. And it's always important. This is how we, in this 1 hour, I cannot just give you the whole mantras what I have of my own stories. I have good and bad too. But definitely, I think I've been speaking more than 1 hour, 10 minutes. But this is main gist of your publications in terms of getting across the line. I think it's time to definitely for me to take some questions. But remember, in nutshell, you need to be really mindful of effective writing does not happen in one night. You need to just keep working on it to refine your things, refine your skills and your manuscript and your paper so that you can get it to the wider audience. And wider audience, it can be either through a publication, journal publication, or a patent. Even I can tell you the most important thing, which I'm going to show you in the next slide, is the funnel down of your research. And I can bet you 80% of you might not be knowing it. Once you publish your paper, what is important now? After you have published the paper, what is important? Anyone in the chat? What is important? What is important? Once you have published the paper, what is important of your paper then? After you have published. So I've been singing this song from last 1 hour, 10 minutes, showing what are important, what are not, but get the citation. Okay. And this is good. Get the citations. It means citation means you getting an impact, right? Correct? You're getting an impact if you're getting citations. But your paper, if someone, because if you go to Sciwell, it will also show you the patents which have used your paper. Patents, those who have referred your paper. This is impact. When you write your grant, in your grant, you clearly write A, B, C, D. I can tell you a story of my research. One of my research in berberine nanoparticles, I've been telling this in most of my research and non-research presentations. One of my research on berberine nanoparticles, it got published in a cancer journal, and I have shown that berberine nanoparticles, they are very effective against the non-small cell lung cancer. That story actually, UTS just published a small story on a UTS home webpage. It was picked in the social media to that extent that 35 countries has published that story in their own language around that berberine nanoparticles, including German pharmacist portal, like we have the IPC in a same way. Those have even published, and you can easily Google. When you put with my name berberine cancer, you will get so many stories, so many stories. This is called impact. I got a funding out of it through just one publication. And that is what I want to tell you in the next slide, is what we call is an impact, which you have correctly said how many times it's cited. But no one knows about altmetric. And altmetrics come from social media. It doesn't come through your LinkedIn. It comes through your Twitter. I'm not talking around this because I don't have time, but this alt matrix, it clearly shows you not only just as per the number of citations you have and the COP guidelines follow all those things and stuff. Its alt metric comes actually from your social media. How many people have? So this paper has almost 1,122 alt metric score. It means around these many countries, these many people, you can clearly see the different countries' name have actually retweeted that paper. And this is what you write in your grant, because you show this is an impact of your grant because this has been used across the globe in different regions where it has been published as a journal article. It has been published as a news, it has been published as a blog, it has been published in Mandally. I don't know. All these things nowadays, you can see that blog, Twitter handles, all these things cross the altmetric, but that's a very different topic. I'm not covering that at the moment. And last but not the least, journals also send nowadays an email saying your article was one of the most read article. It means it ultimately is fetching citations. But with this, I would like to thank my own school, first of all, the Discipline of Pharmacy Graduate School of Health. Charlie was the founding dean of the school, and Kylie is the current head of the Discipline of Pharmacy. And I would also like to thank the Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy and the Gujarat Technical University, particularly this FDP organizing committee and Samaresh, who've been in touch with me from almost few weeks to get me here with you guys. I believe I have taken plenty of time. It's almost 4:47 or then 1 hour 30 minutes. With this, I'm gonna stop my screen now. And thank you very much for being patient and listening to me. But as I had a disclaimer in the beginning, these are just my own personal perceptions. But happy to take any questions. Please feel free to connect wherever you want to connect. And if you need any help, I'm more than happy. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for this insightful session. I believe all the participants who is presented over here, they learned a lot from your presentation. So now I like to quickly take few questions from the audience. Audience, kindly you can please raise your hand option to ask question directly to sir. If any participants want to ask some questions, please you can raise your hand. I'll give you a chance to unmute and you can ask your questions. Or else you can also ask your questions in the chat box. Quickly, few questions.
All right. I think looks like there's no questions. Everyone is just happy. But please feel free. Look,
Yes,
you
yes,
can
I can
easily
see.
connect with me.
Few questions are
Easily
there.
connect. Oh,
Dr.
there's one
Rajani can,
question.
yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Rajni.
Rajani.
Yeah,
Sir, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Sir, I have one question for you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, regarding the B Pharmacy, we are doing a project work for the fourth year B Pharmacy students.
Very good. That's very nice. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So they have done a work on fruit powder, sir. It belongs to the African region. That we could get that sample from one of our visiting professor.
Mhm.
So these people have done the work on that fruit powder, and also they have done the quantification by HPTLC, and they sent the sample to the lab for cytotoxic studies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So what?
in your opinion, sir, could you please recommend a suitable journal for this?
I
How
think
they proceed for the suitable journal, which is
I,
having a good impact.
Yeah, no, if until and unless if I can't see the data, it would be
Okay,
really difficult. If you can share in confidence with me your data, I'm more than happy to recommend a journal. But look, it's a hit and trial still because the journals
yes,
are
sir.
not run by my grandfather, but I also get multiple rejections. But I'm more than happy to help Dr. Rajni. That's not a problem. If you can just send me some of the data in
Okay.
confidence, and then I can look at that. But as you mentioned that it is more an extraction and the cytotoxicity, which is just, I believe, would be MTT. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. They have done the cell line studies on breast cancer cells, sir. Yeah.
So, what MCF7 they have used?
MCF, yes, sir. MCF7, sir. MCF7, yes.
Okay, so I would suggest you can try with the journal called Food Biosciences. It's an Elsevier journal and it had an impact factor of 5 or 4.9 or something. They take
Okay,
a
sir.
lot of in vitro. It's a great journal. Have a look, but if you can show me more data, because my work is also mostly across those lines. Um,
Okay.
but that would be a good start.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Sir, please share your email ID, sir, in the chat box.
I'm sure Samaraj can give my email ID to everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Thank you.
yes. Yeah. Thank you,
Like
sir.
Dr.
Now,
Shankar.
yeah, Dr. Shankar, you could please unmute.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon, sir,
Very good
from
afternoon.
India.
Yeah, sure.
It's nice to listen to you. I just have a question like, how easy is that to get a job the faculty field in Australia for India?
It's I think this is a very different topic, to be honest, as compared to what we're talking here on the presentation. But um, to be honest, there are only very limited universities in Australia which run pharmacy program. Australia is a very small country, okay? And Australia, if I really count, there would be maximum around less than 15 pharmacy schools, and most of them are public universities. There's none a private university at all which runs a so and prob mostly 99%. First of all, what they usually in the jobs they look is the domestic people, the Aussies, and they with their qualifications there. So there are lot of factors which are actually really plays important role here. But that's a very different topic actually, and I'm more than happy to present some time on in trying to, those prospects. I did it in few universities, but it's a very different debate actually, Dr. Shankar. Happy to talk to you separately.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. I'll-
No problem. No problem. Easy.
Yes,
Dr.
it will
Mirza,
be
you got a question.
Uh, Hello, sir. Wonderful talk. I'm Dr. Salman Beg from Kalsekar campus, Mumbai. Sir, I have actually being a author, I am facing the challenge that once we submit in a journal, we have to ensure that we are not submitting it to any other journal. And
Correct.
reviewing of that article is, I mean, taking 1 or 2 months. And if I am trying to hit 5 journals, at me it will take 1 year, and whole
Yeah.
journal become, I mean, outdated in terms of the references and whatever ideas I have. So
Yeah.
I fully understand that it is difficult to, I mean, not ethical to submit simultaneously in multiple journal, but some people are still doing. So what is
No.
your suggestion, and what
Yeah.
should we tackle this challenge?
So my thoughts are very, very clear. It is unethical to submit a same
Yeah,
paper,
right, right.
multiple journals. Remember, there are only four top publishers: Elsevier, Springer, Willey, Taylor and Francis. And 99% journals sit in their domain where we publish. If they manage to identify this kind of a problem, then you can be bargained even for submission. So why to take, first of all, that risk? I will never suggest anyone to take those risks at all,
Agree,
because
agree.
I personally I had the similar experiences what you said actually, Dr. Salman, that some papers definitely take more than 7 to 8 months just to get a review back, and that also rejection sometime.
Yeah,
And it is
right,
extremely frustrating. It is extremely frustrating,
right,
particularly for a student than a supervisor, the one who has been waiting
right.
for the paper to go to the next stage. So, so my honest answer to you, what I practice is, if I don't get a response within 2 months, I withdraw my paper.
That's correct.
I withdraw my paper. I've been an editor-in-chief and I get so many emails sometime. This is a paper for your attention. This is a paper for your attention. And as I mentioned to you, as a human, I also have my professional life and a personal life. Despite it depends on us how much time we give to our personal life and family. But I cannot just, like, these journals are getting out of control. Honestly, in a day, sometime I get 15 papers, 10 papers for review. Do I have that much of time? And that's free service, what we give to them. Leave that.
Yeah,
As an editor-in-chief, I I can tell you very blunt, there is a journal called Advances in Pharmaceutical Research or something. It is almost 15 impact of Elsevier, Advanced Pharmaceutical Sciences or something. I can't recall the exact name. They invited me on board as an editor-in-chief, and I can. They invited me editor-in-chief, and in a day they were sending me 25 papers, 20 to 25 papers. How on the earth you can handle that many paper? despite the main chief editor-in-chief having an expectation, there would be 80% rejections in the first go, but I still need to look onto those, right? I can tell you the journal name. Wait, it should be really good to know that, how they work. Advanced.
Even authors would be happy if they reject quickly, but they are taking much time for first decision. So that is the problem.
I know. I can't recall. It is the um I should tell you everyone actually. It is called mm, advanced.
Advanced drug delivery reviews,
No,
possible.
no, no, no. It would be definitely, I think it might be on my CV or somewhere. I'm not removed yet, but give me a minute. I must tell you how they work sometimes. It's very frustrating. It's extremely frustrating what you're saying, and it's a very genuine question, to be honest. It's a very
Right.
genuine question what you have asked me. And it is frustrating not only just um for the authors, but it is frustrating for the journals on different grounds as well. And give me a The name of the journal is Journal Editorial Board. Journal of Advanced Research. Google everyone. I should tell everyone that please Google Journal of Advanced Research. They might have taken off me on the list now, which is very good. Yes, Journal of Advanced Research. And this journal, yeah, look, 11.4 impact, it has reduced. And I was on their editorial board. Probably they might have removed me. Look, this guy, I get this email from Muhammad Al Said Muhammad, whoever it is. It's from Egypt. And you won't believe their expectations from me was I should definitely have 15 to 20 papers reviewed within a week. And as an editor, and first of all, finding reviewers is a pain. Everyone just keep rejecting. I don't want to review. I don't want to review. And I clearly said to him, please remove me from your editorial board. So your question is correct, and it depends actually how the review process goes. So these are the technical issues within the journal itself, which
Yes.
when you get on an editorial board, you will understand much more in depth. And at the moment, there's so many predatory journals getting so strict with AI and other things, rejection rates going up. So there's so many other factors. So 2 months is a big
Yes.
time to wait for your paper if it goes in a review.
Yes.
If it shows under review, be patient. Never prick anyone. And
Yeah.
not if they don't reply after a month, then you can politely say on the journal portal, can I please have this? And you get the response. Otherwise, I would suggest you actually to just be patient. But this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is what, yeah. But
Thank you
it
very much
depends.
for your genuine and honest feedback, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem, no problem. I think there's one more question I'm happy to take. There's Dr. R. Kumar. Are you gonna ask a question, please?
Thank you, sir.
Yes. How can I help?
Um, Sir, thank you very much. I'm speaking from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Sir, despite we are making the tremendous effect for publication, sometimes the citation is not going and the H index also not improving it. Is the same way the Google Scholar H index to the top the same as a Scopus H index, sir? Can you explain, please, if you have a time?
They both work very separately. And the way I said to you in the beginning is, always you will see the number of citation on the Scopus are much more lesser, and your H index would be much more lesser than the Google Scholar. Google Scholar picks everything, whether your news articles, magazines, any references, it picks everything. That's why it shows the more numbers in terms of your indexes as compared to when it comes to the Scopus. But with Scopus, because it really picks only the scientific domain, only the papers and the cross references, those kind of things. But I would suggest you more than a Scopus, you can look at Web of Science or either Sciwell. That will show you much more clear data of yours, and you can clearly see which paper of yours is being cited by whom, but how many numbers. You can clearly
Okay.
see those kind of things as well. But if you need any help, I'm more than happy to look for you. If because for Sciwell, it requires an institutional authorization. I'm not sure how many institutes got that authorization, but yeah, it's another important thing. Yeah, no problem. If you can contact me, I can try at some point of time if I get the breath. No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, I think
No
we are
problem.
at the end. So thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and to sharing your insights with us. And I like to say that all the audience that say for single all sir is ready to give his insights with us. We are very thankful to Dr. Kamal Dua sir for coming over here and blessed us with your kind words and your insightful session. So at the end now, 1 second. Sir, please accept this certificate of appreciation from Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy and Gujarat
Thank you.
Technological University as a token of our gratitude and recognition of your invaluable contribution. Please accept this certificate, sir.
No problem. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the invitation. And I hope if I come to any conference, then we'll try to meet in person as well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure, sir. Sure. Definitely, we'll have to have you at our campus at Gujarat. I believe you have came Charusat few months back. Yeah, 1 second, sir. I'm
Yes,
going to unmute.
I came to Charusat to for the
Yes,
endowment chair, which was a
yes.
very good program. And thank you for them actually for invitation. Even from Gujarat Technical University, we are currently working on there is some final year students probably going to visit UTS in pharmacy. I'm the chair. Anyway, that's a different thing.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah,
Yes,
but
yes.
keep in touch.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you again for joining us and sharing your insightful
No problem.
session. Thank you, sir.
No worries. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
All the audience, kindly turn on your camera. We'll take some screenshot along with sir. Please turn on your camera. All the audience, I request, please turn on your camera. In today's second Saturday in India, I believe most of the colleges having holiday. So they are sitting home there and listening to sir. It's really great
Very
to
good.
see all the faculties who has joined from their home and listening to sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. Have a
Thank you, sir.
nice day. Thank you. Is it
Okay, sir.
okay for me to leave the call
Yes,
now?
yes, yes, you can leave,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, yes, sir.
Take Bye.
Bye, sir. So all the participants, please wait for another 2 minutes. We are having a quick validity session. Then we're going to share the feedback link of today's session. Please be available. Another next 2 minutes, we are going to have one validity session, and then we are going to wind up the session. Please 2 minutes, just wait.
Thank you so much for your cooperation. Good afternoon to one and all present here as we arrive to the final moments on this insightful and inspiring journey of our national level online faculty development program. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on the valedictory function. Over the past 6 days, we have collectively explored and landscape of modern research practices from mastering the art of grant writing and high impact publishing to understanding patents and leveraging AI for academic excellence. Today, we conclude this faculty development program not as an end, but as the beginning of smarter, sharper, and more meaningful research pursuits. To begin this valedictory session, I take this opportunity to invite the driving force behind the entire program, our dedicated faculty development coordinator, Dr. Samresh Pal Roy sir, to address the gathering and share his reflections on this enriching journey.
Thank you, Nikita ma'am. So, good afternoon to all dignitaries, esteemed speakers, respected faculty members, research scholars, and fellow academicians. So, as we draw the curtains of this enriching 6 days journey of learning and growth, it is with great pride and deep satisfaction that we make the successful conclusion of the national level online faculty development program on smart research for digital age, organized by Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy in association with Gujarat Technological University. Over the past 6 days, we were privileged to engage with distinguished experts, each a torchbearer in their respective domain, from Dr. V.K. Moria, thoughtful insight into planning and research roadmap, Dr. Vandana Patrawale, masterclass on grant writing, and Dr. Vijay Shivpure, which given enlightened us with the patent filing, and Dr. K. Sumairani, enlightening session on ethical AI use. Each day added a unique dimension to our collective knowledge. Today, we are honored to hear Dr. Kamal Sir, a global name in pharmaceutical science and research innovation, who beautifully articulated the importance of structure and flow in scientific writing. His vast experience and global perspective gave us a fresh lens through which to view our academic pursuits. His presence was truly the fitting final to a week of high impact learning. The FDP has not merely shared information, it has sowed seed of innovation, collaboration, and excellence. Topic like Scopus, index publishing, grant proposal writing, intellectual property right, AI integration. So these are the necessities of 21st century researchers. So this program has empowered each of us with the tools, strategies, and ethical framework to rise on this expectation. We extend our heartful gratitude to all resource persons for their invaluable contribution. A special thanks to our all fraternity of Southern College of Pharmacy as well as organizing team and also GTU for their support and collaboration. So most important, we thank each participants whose curiosity, questions, and active engagement made this EFDP a vibrant success. May these insights gained during this week find expression in your classroom, laboratories, grant proposal, research papers, as well as future patents. So as we move forward, let us commit to being a lifelong learner, innovative thinkers, and ethical researchers in this digital era. Together, we can redefine research not just a profession, but as a powerful vehicle for transformation. So, with this, signing off, Samresh Palrai. Thank you, Jai Hind and Jai Science. Over to you, Nikita.
Thank you so much, sir, for your thoughtful words, continuous guidance, and your tireless efforts in making this FTP a grand success. Now, to formally express our gratitude and appreciation to all those who made this program possible, I would like to invite our respected Vice Principal Sir, Dr. Rahil Bura sir, for delivering the vote of thanks.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon, one and all present over here. And first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to express a vote of thanks on behalf of Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy. First and the foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude to our chief guest and the valedictory speaker, Dr. Kamal Dua, sir, the associate professor at University of Technology, Sydney, for his insightful and inspiring sessions today. Our sincere thanks to all our eminent speaker, Dr. Moria, sir, Vandana ma'am, Ketan Raj, sir, Vijay, sir, and Soumya Rani, ma'am, for sharing their expertise and the experience throughout the week. I would also like to thank our collaborator, Gujarat Technological University, for their unwavering support and the encouragement for organizing this FTP. A heartfelt thanks to our principal, management, and the organizing committee of Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy for their vision, planning, and the tireless efforts behind the scenes to make this program to a grand success. A special note of appreciation to all the participants, academicians, research scholar, and the industry professional who joined us from the various corner of the country. Your active participation, thoughtful question, and the feedback truly made this program to interactive and the impactful. Thank you once again. Stay safe, stay curious, and stay inspired. Thank you all. Thank you once again on behalf of the Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy. Over to
Thank you,
you,
sir.
Samresh.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So collectively, it's a very grand success, and thanks to all the participants. So I like to take some call from participants. If you want to give some your valuable feedback, you can please unmute and you can say something. Yeah, anybody want to take some feedback? You can please raise your hand and please give us a feedback.
Sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible, please.
Thank you, sir. I'm speaking from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So I'm all the 6 days I'm attending continuously. Today holiday, that's why I'm in the home. I'm sorry if I am, but very exclusively. I have attended so many online program like this, but it is exclusively arranged. All the participants are performed very, very well. Very informative session. All the credit goes to your college and the organizing committee. Continue to do this like this. That is my wish. Really, my heartfelt congratulations to your organizing committee, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your feedback is really valuable for us. So, Dr. Shalendra, sir, you like to say something?
Yes, sure. Big congratulations to the organizing team. The e-FDP which you have organized, it was a really it's kind of that which flourished. I would like to mention here Professor William Moriarty, very informative lecture. Apart from that, day two I could not attend the session, but as on third day, fourth day, and this was that yesterday's lecture, which was given by Dr. Soumya Rani, was very informative, and I think that and not only that, Dr. Vijay Shipuje sir, he has thrown light on that patent process, as well as he has cleared some of the doubts of which I have raised during this question answer session. So this kind of e-FDPs definitely is appreciable, and the theme which you have selected, I think that it's a good one. And what I suggest for the organizers that you can continue with this type of FDPs, but my suggestion is that we can shift the timing of this program. Like, if it would be in the evening session, so that we can attend it patiently, because it's essential fix the time of 10 to 12, so that as it is the time working office is started at early morning 10, and it is sometimes it becomes difficult to manage between all those things. Although the lectures are very interesting, but see, due to some academic as well as some administrative work, that I could not attend full timely. But although I would like to congratulate you and support, and again request you to organize such type of FDPs. Definitely, this will be helpful for every pharma. It is helpful for the fraternity of the pharma fraternity. So thank you very much for organizing, and all the best for your future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You will note your suggestion. Definitely, we will try to make it in future this kind of session.
I would like to mention that please share the recordings if you have. I
Yes,
think
yes,
so. So
definitely.
the lectures which I have missed, I can go through with that.
Yes, 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 yes. And thank you, sir. Dr. Ashwini Mishra, want to say something?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So first of all, good afternoon. It was really a roller coaster ride of knowledge, starting from first day to till now. I haven't missed like any opportunity to grab the knowledge from this FDP. And this must be my fourth and fifth experience taking part in the event or FDP organized by your particular college. So I have to say, like, congratulate to all the people who are behind it, Gujarat Technical University, your college, and the whole team, because it was a memorable experience, and I have seen
So,
a quorum fulfillment, not more than that. But here, every speaker was up to the mark, and I got lots of knowledge and opportunity to learn with them. The only request I have is whenever you people organize these kind of FDP, kindly do arrange a hands-on session, because that will even enable the listener and the people who are taking part to learn new skill. Because in pharmacy nowadays, the skills, not nowadays, from the first day, we are the people with the practical and the empirical knowledge. If it will become in our hand, we will definitely be much more equipped, and we will take.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir. In the first week of May, we'll have a workshop, hands-on training on this use of AI. So we have already arranged those workshops in the week of May. So I hope you will be joining that workshop.
Sure, sir. I will definitely join. Even I got the brochure from the sir the day before yesterday. So yes, this is the same one. So thank you for this initiation, and I hope like people will definitely get not lots and lots of knowledge-based enrichment in this effort. Thank you very much.
yes, so definitely once you learn something, we have to apply. So to apply, we need to have some kind of support system by AI. So how AI can assist us to writing, scientific writing and academia, we are having 3 days workshop. So definitely you can join this, but you should be present with your laptop for 4 hours continuously with half an hour lunch break so that you can learn it hands-on. It is a hands-on practice because the speakers already said to me that the audience are going to sit with laptop and they are doing the same. What the instruction come from the speaker, you have to do. Then only we can learn. So that's why we are having this hands-on workshop on ethical use of AI for academia as well as research. I believe this is going to be a very fruitful one. Definitely, you must join. And for this audience, we have kept the price 400, but for other audience, it is 500. As you have there with us for last 6 days, that's why we kept the price 400 rupees. So we're going to share again the final brochure with you all in the WhatsApp group. Please don't left the group. Be there. We're going to share the brochure. You can go through the speaker details, and if you really want, you can join. Yeah, Rahul sir, Rahul sir, want to say something?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So I can
We
see
can
one
conclude.
more. Dr. Hassan, you would like to share something? Please unmute.
Good afternoon, sir. Uh,
Good
Firstly, I want to
afternoon.
congratulate Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy for organizing such an event. And I am speaking from Macau, West Bengal. I firstly want to thank to the organizing committee, because after a long time, I am seeing my own guide, Sir Kumar Balrajan sir, who just talked to you just now. He was my guide. So I was thankful to see him after a long back year, to meet him up right at your platform. So thank you for that, firstly. Secondly, I would also like to say that such events where we are discussing about the modern skills to be implemented, that's a different sort of arena of that is being discussed over here in this FDP. And I am also aiming forward to join your next session that you are planning for AI-driven work related to use it ethically. Because what I'm finding right now, we are much more inclined for unethical uses. that is getting incorporated in our academia. So that's a very important topic. So we should know where the borderline lies. So that's a very good initiative that has been taken from your side, and I will be very happy to be a part of your this I think workshop. Uh, as a part of my suggestion, if you say basically, since I am from pharmaceutical technology, so if you organize something, some workshops, which is very rare to be organized, is regarding the design of experiments. As a part of the curriculum, it's being a part of it, but I have found that a lot of students doesn't have much, or even us, the faculties, also don't have much understanding on this part of statistics. So I will be grateful if you organize something related to statistics, specifically the QBD and design of experiments. I will be very much grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, sure. We will take your suggestion and definitely maybe future we will going to arrange this kind of DOE session or FDP. Thank you, sir, for your valuable feedback. Anyway, one is like to say something. Please, you can unmute or raise a hand. I'll give you a chance to unmute. In the chat box also, you can share that you want to say something. I will give you a chance to unmute. If you not found that react, that is raise your hand option. Anybody want to share something? Because as you know, it is a virtual one, right? So if you meet physically, we can share, we can gossip, and we can exchange our thought. But in virtually, we cannot do. But at the end, this military session, we want your valuable feedback so that we can improve ourselves for further arranging this kind of FDP. Yeah, someone is asking to give the feedback link. It is there in the chat box. I'm going to share again. Yes, anybody want to say something? Please, you can.
Samresh, somebody is asking to unmute. Please see in the chat box.
Okay, Professor Ravi. Okay, Ravi. Okay, just 1 second. Okay. Professor Ravi, you can please unmute.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, all of you. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. Yes, sir.
Actually, I am driving. That's why, but I am listening all those the lectures. It is a very good. I am thankful to Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy that nicely organizing this FDP, and I am very glad, and I appreciate all those the lectures conducted. In that, I want to talk about the lectures by that on the patent. So that was also very nicely conducted, and delivered all those things regarding the patent. The one thing is that we are happy to have a patent, and but after that, what after that? After granting the patent, what after that? So that is also the very important and the burning point that every academician should consider. Because in after getting the patent, we should not waste the time of our government if it has no any commercial value, and it is only for the certificate. That has been very well in light in that lectures, and overall all those the lectures in the FDP were very good, nice and informative, and I like this initiative, and the timing is also 10 to 12, and very timely and very organized. The organization was very good, and I'm thankful to all of you. Thank you, Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy, and to the principal also, and all those that organized. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Ravi, sir, for your valuable feedback. Yes, anybody else like to share something? There is an option is called raise hand. The reacts part of your device. You can raise your hand.
Anyway, Samresh, we can conclude this session.
Okay, fine. So Yes, there is no question, then you can conclude. Yes, thank you once again on behalf of Sardar Patel College of Pharmacy and Gujarat Technological University. We sincerely thank to you people for joining us, and we thankful also the management who has given us the permission to organize this session for to support you all. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. And please join the upcoming session on AI use in academia and
Kamlesh sir, please convey the message regarding the certificates.
yes, yes, yes. So I believe all of you are waiting for the certificate. So we are working on that. Once we receive today's feedback, we'll start preparing certificate. Maybe by Tuesday, you will get all your certificate. Tuesday or Wednesday, max to max. Maybe before that. So we are waiting for your valuable feedback. So we are going to take the feedback form and we are going to verify your attendance and all. And at the end of this weekend, we are going to finish the verification, and by Monday's I think holiday, so by Tuesday or Wednesday we are going to release all the certificates. So please stay here in the WhatsApp group, we are going to update. Thank you.